What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about compound today. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, you guys, and let's get into it without wasting any time at all. So here we are, sitting at about $84.83. We had an immaculate drop all the way down to $68.50. Crazy. I would have never thought that it went that low. But the thing is, you guys, compound, if we look at it for what it is, it's kind of hard to discern where the resistance point of this consolidation phase was, right? Kind of hard to discern. Was it at this high? Is that the resistance point? Well, if that's the resistance point for this whole consolidation phase, I mean, that was just the one time we found resistance on it. Is it this point? Well, we only found resistance on this one time really too, kind of twice, but we went above it. We closed above it, and we actually had prices that were higher, right? So I wouldn't say that's a resistance point either. Maybe sometimes with long phases like this, you get fake outs, and the real resistance point is a little bit lower, right? And what it looks like to me is what we've done is that we've found support at the resistance zone, the primary resistance zone of this overall consolidation phase, right? It's like if I was looking for a line of best fit for support, I would probably take this line here, right? You reached for it, but you couldn't quite get there, something like that. Or maybe it's a little bit higher, but there's outliers on the bottom side too, right? You found support on the line that makes the most sense. So I like seeing that, right? It's an area that you found resistance on time and time again over a period that lasted longer than 2 years. I think that's significant, right? Look at how big this candle was. And at its base, it was even bigger, right? Look at the level of volume we've had. Right, it's not significant at all. This is average volume, very average. It's technically below average still. We have a day and 20 hours left in the week. The week is very mature. Okay, we had a significant move down. You guys, anytime, mark my words, man. By the end of this week, we got a day and 20 hours left. By the end of this week, this thing says 22% to the downside now. It's either going to be less than 10% to the downside, probably even like less than 8% to the downside, or we're going to have a green week. It's going to come all the way back up in green, and that's where the volume's going to come in, because there wasn't a lot of volume coming to the downside, right? But there were up here a lot of people who wish they bought down here. There were people down here who wish they bought, but it went all the way up here, right? And they didn't get a chance. There's people who wanted to buy up here. There's people who wanted to buy down here, and then they got their chance, right? And they didn't take it. There wasn't a lot of volume. But now they're going to take it. Now that it's going to get away from them, that FOMO is going to set in, you're going to see that volume come in. Normally when you have big moves happen early on in a candle's closing period, open to close period, before like a ways away from its closing time frame, if it moves down or if it moves up a lot without a lot of volume, you see that volume come in to the reverse effect, going back to like where the candle opened or closed. I hope that makes sense. So all I'm trying to say is I like this. I like the low. Yes, it was a bit dramatic, but this is what they call a shakeout. You can tell that it's nothing significant because, again, very insignificant levels of volume compared to anything that we've seen, right? Extremely insignificant levels of volume. And all you've done is find support at the 0.5 at an area that you found resistance at constantly. So you're confirming support at previous areas of resistance. It's not a bad thing. And I would really like it if this week could at least close above 81 bucks, but the higher the better. We close above 100, even better, right? And I very much, off of what I just said, I very much do believe that we will close above 81.7. So that's the shakeout. That's the low. We're not going lower. We're only going higher, you guys. If you want to buy compound, it's now or never, right? You missed your chance at the sub 60 prices. You still got a chance at the sub 100, sub 90 prices, right? Here we are on these lows on the RSI. If we take this low into consideration here, we take all these lows into consideration here, and then maybe not these ones right over there, whatever. Just because they're at the same areas. You know, here at this low, that was a relative low there. Here, that was a relative low. Here, that was a relative low, and it got you started. Here, I would assume you're at a relative low as well, but I don't think it's going to be like these lows and we continue to move down. I think that it is going to be the low that gets us started on our next phase up. That's just my personal expectation. I want to take this low to high real quick. Just wanted to see that, okay. On a weekly basis, we go back out to a weekly basis here. Look at our weekly RSI. You got way the hell overbought, and now you're not, right? You cooled way the hell off, and that's fine. That's totally fine. Sometimes we cool off, and then we get back into the overbought zone. We see some bullish stuff happen afterwards. Compound doesn't have a whole lot of history, so we don't really have any examples of that happening here, but it happens, right? It definitely does happen. $85.21 now. The next target to move up to, right? We found support here. I'm very confident we did. The next target to move up to undeniably would be $235 to $304, right? That is the target. It could be by the end of this year. It could be by the end of January. January, right? We're refining things a little bit with how much we've dropped. It depends on how high we are by the end of the year. These targets here at, what is that, 425 to 610, they're still very much on the table for end of January, right? Very much part of the discussion. But let's see how we interact at this level first. Let's see how long it takes us to get there, okay? If it's the end of the year, you guys, and compound's not even above its recent high, well, then maybe these would be end of January targets, okay? If it's the end of the year and we're basically here, we're not quite there, but we're basically there, or we are there by the end of December, okay, well, then maybe these are our end of January targets. But let's see how we recover here. I'm expecting it's going to be immaculate. I very much do believe we'll see prices above, not just $300, but above $400 by the end of this move. But time will tell. We'll see how it goes. It's better to not get overzealous, and I want to get overzealous because I really do think compound's going to rip, you guys. I think it's going to fly. But let's keep our feet on the ground. 235 to 304 is the immediate target, so let's start there. Let's focus there. Assuming that's the low, and I'm very confident that's the low. We have a fib here based on the extensions, high to low there. You've got your golden ratio just below this golden ratio, and you can go a little bit above that, so that makes sense. 1886 there. I mean, man, that 2618 lining up. Again, I don't know if you make it all the way up to $600. It is on the table, but I have been saying I think that we would hit the 786, right? 786, 886 zone, but that 2618 being there at 453, that gives me a little bit of confidence there too. I don't think that we'd stop at 353, but you never know. We'll see. Time will tell. There's definitely a lot of reasons, not just to break above $300, but to break above $400 as well, so we'll see. It all depends on what we do from here. Anyways, guys, compound looking ferocious. Looking great. I'm not worried about it at all. If anybody's worried about it, I would probably guess it's your first market cycle, and that's fine. Just understand it's your first market cycle. You're going to have emotions that will lead you astray. That's why you watch channels like this, right? Not for financial advice, but more for that. I mean, I give you targets and stuff that I have personally. I give you my opinions on what I would do, right? It's not financial advice, but I hopefully do provide a little bit of level-headedness, hopefully. I know for some people I don't. It's like my calls are too crazy, but give it time and they'll come true, man. They're crazy now. The people that are here to say, you're crazy, you're wrong, you'll never be right, blah, 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 they're so loud right now. But then whenever the calls come true, they're quiet. They chirp. And then the next round of people got to come through because they weren't around for the last round of my calls. But anyways, guys, $85 here, losing volume. It's not about being right or wrong anyways. It's about risk management. Higher lows here on the RSI. Bullish divergence, right? Bullish divergence on the RSI. Decreasing volume as you're moving down. The biggest candle you had the least amount of volume out of all these spikes. There's no doubt in my mind that was the low. Absolutely, especially with how you're recovering. And at the rate you're recovering right now, it wouldn't surprise me if by the end of the week, you guys, this thing was above $100 again. Yeah. But time will tell. We'll see how it goes. It looks pretty damn good from here. If I had access to any of your money, I would definitely be putting it in here. Not financial advice, but I'm just saying if you're looking to buy compound and anybody who's watching this video, you might be tempted, right? It might be something on your mind. It's probably a good place to buy. I'm just saying, just my personal thoughts. I didn't even look at this, man, going all the way back here because we were looking at this accumulation phase. But look at that. That was your lowest. That was like your ICO day, lowest price that you had. Finding support in relative areas of support back here as well. So, all right, guys, I'm going to end the video. Hit the like button, subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.